What is up, you heathens and demons, you sinners and saints, you beautiful blasphemous people? Welcome back to Seeing Red. Ali is here. Brett Keane and Will Kincaide are not, as I found out just a few minutes ago, and I had to change up everything. Let me get out of that and let's get over to that. You guys can see what we're going to be watching. We're going to be reviewing some Brett Keane instead. Brett Keane will be here tonight. He will keep his word. Oh, maybe he doesn't. I don't know. I have history with Brett. And tonight, like, I even told him, like, dude, I'm not gonna like have any, like, I'm not gonna be coming at you in any way. I just want to catch up with you, find out what you've been doing, let you ask any questions of me. I mean, that's literally what I had planned tonight. Ali will back me up, and I've had a really shitty day. Like, I ain't gonna lie.
He straight up told me don't go at him like too hard at all because like I kind of want this to be civil.
Yeah, I promised it
I
would
mean,
be
he told me
civil.
that with Richard too, and I didn't do it, so he like told me twice with Brett.
So I wanted it. I wanted it to be civil. Me and Brett have a lot of history, but you know, and Brett didn't cancel. Will Kincaide canceled, and I mean, Will was up in the Discord reminding me that this was gonna happen tonight today, and I'm like, yeah, I know I'm having a shitty day, but I'll be there, and I'm here despite having a really shitty day. I'm here. But I wasn't able to click a link for Brett's channel. Well, one time I'll give him one time when I told him I would, but he like I had the time zone shit fucked up, and when I was ready to go, he actually wasn't streaming. So I went into another stream, and then he started streaming, and I didn't show up. So I'll give him that one. But the time he's really mad about, I was actually at work. And dude, I was at work, and I told you that. And then he sent me this video, and this video is a different. I mean, it's different. It's called "Will Matt Powell, G-Man, and Christians Run from Brett Keane Challenge?" And I told him I thought it was a good video. I think he's at his best when he's asking questions. But what's up, Ali? Ali is here. I've been ignoring her. What's going on, Ali?
I'm a grumpy asshole because I wanted to make sure that I was as not late as possible, and I fell down the stairs and screwed my knee up.
Well, and that's the worst thing about it, right? Because like we did this 2 hours early to bend for
Despite the fact
Brett's
that I had
schedule.
fucking PT and told everybody that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you changed your schedule. I changed my schedule. I've actually got to go and check my lasagna that's in the oven right now, because, like as I said, I'm running late on everything. Like, you know, dinner's really late tonight, and I got to check my lasagna at 7:40. Might not be ready to come out of the oven at 7:40, but I got to check it at 7:40.
Yeah, like we moved everything around. Brett gets one more time before he ends up on the bitch made shirt.
If he wants to come on after this stream, because you know, while I do enjoy this video, I mean, there's some questions
It
that
wouldn't
we
be
should
on your
ask.
screen if he there. It wouldn't be on your screen if he didn't have something to say about it.
Yeah, I mean, there's some serious questions to ask about this video. So I'm gonna ask him, and maybe he won't want to come on the stream after I ask him, because you know he's not here. So we can be critical, right? We can be.
Well, and not only that, but like it's always important to be critical of one's art, right? Like if you I personally believe that somebody who respects another person will call them out on their BS. Like I respect you enough to be honest with you and here's where we disagree. Right? Like I think that is a respect thing. I think that people who have egos that are too soft to be criticized have no confidence in themselves, or at least far less than they need, because in all
Yeah.
honesty we can only improve ourselves through criticism. And if we still disagree by the time you're done criticizing me, at least I know that you had the respect to do it, versus just like say insulting one another. There's a difference between criticism and insult, and I feel that what we do when we respond to videos is mostly criticism.
Like, this is the second time. Like, Wade Wilson, who are you talking to? Are you talking to me? Like, who? How have I attacked any individual's family? Please explain. I have no idea what you're talking about. Um,
And they ignore the chat.
yeah, I'm
We may
sorry.
or may not start getting trolls after the stuff that we've been dealing with lately. We promise we
Well,
weren't
I've
getting
seen
involved
Wade
in any
Wilson
more drama.
before, so I don't think he's a troll. Maybe I don't know. But if you can explain, please explain. I don't know what you're talking about. Um, So yeah, I think we can be a little critical of this because I think that there are serious questions to ask, especially considering some of the history I have with Brett Keane. You know, because I literally told Brett Keane what type of a person Matt Powell is, and this isn't really directed at Matt Powell. He's going to ask some questions of Christianity, I believe. Stop attacking families. I'm not sure. Maybe this is some kind of meme going on in the chat. I'm not sure what that is. The fuck is stop attacking families? I don't know. I don't know. Are they talking?
I wonder
to
if
Brett?
we're getting. I wonder if we're. Honestly, I wondered if we're getting hit by another round of like dislike bombing or NIFB bombing or something. I don't know.
Well, no,
Who
like
knows?
I've seen both of them, Ares 106 and Wade Wilson before. I don't think so.
Well, hopefully it's just a meme. Like if y'all could explain what the hell you mean, that'd be nice.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. um, I don't attack families. I don't know what the hell that is. All right, so it's a meme about Von Helton. Okay, all right, good. All right,
okay,
cool.
I didn't know that.
Neither
I've
did
not
I.
been.
I'm so
All right,
like
y'all.
disconnected.
Like, I'm just gonna remind everybody that I came into the community at like the end of June, beginning of July last year. So like, I'm learning stuff.
Yeah, like, dude, I've had Von Helton on my channel like a couple times, but I know very little about him. What I know about Von Helton is I don't like him. Like, I despise. Like, I met him a couple times on Brett's channel, and then he was on my channel twice, I think. And I don't like the guy. Like, so, like we can have a banner back and forth, and it's cool, and then. I don't know. He's like totally kosher with you know, he'll justify the deaths of children on the southern border. I'll put it that way. But yeah, I don't watch. I don't have time to watch too many videos. And as I'm gonna announce at the end of this stream, my time is all fucked up now. My day has been fucked up. My time is fucked up. Everything's changing, y'all. It's changing. So yeah, but I'm here despite all those fucked up shits. Like.
Oh, it's apparently a drunken peasants meme specifically.
Yeah, well, he has so much history. So that's what I do want to warn you before we start the video, Ali, that he does have a history of flagging shit. So if he doesn't like our review of his video, I haven't ever had that issues with Brett Keane. He's never tried to flag me, as far as I know, but other people have. And that I think that's one of the past history issues that I definitely wasn't gonna ask him about. Like I was gonna seriously stay away from like any controversial shit. I just wanted him to ask me questions, but instead we get to review Brett Keane. So you got the video I sent you, right?
Yep, I've got it. Like we'll do it the way we usually do for our Sunday streams. Just tell me when to start and stop. Or actually, you know what you can do? You can screen share because we're in Zoom.
I don't think I can. Honestly.
You should have the option to screen share.
Well, I'm just saying the way I got shit set up is this.
If you're just are you doing a window capture or a screen capture right now?
I am not. I don't have Zoom in this at any way at all.
Okay, I'm asking if you're doing a window capture or a screen capture. If you're doing a window capture, then we can do the share screen. Otherwise, we'll just try to synchronize our clicks.
I don't have Zoom in the stream at all. At all, like nothing. My camera's working.
Okay, but if you're doing a window capture, you can move Zoom into the screen and just click share screen for that, and I can see it too. But if you're doing
I'm doing a display capture. Yeah, I'm not doing a window. Like I don't have Zoom in here at all.
Okay, so if you're doing a display capture, what you can do is you can click share screen in Zoom, click the display, and it'll show it to me at the same time that it's showing it to everybody else.
That's the issue. I have. Just a second, y'all. Just a second. Ali's making this shit hard on me.
Okay, fine. I'll just synchronize clicks. It's fucking fine, dude. Like that. Don't get your panties in a bunch. Like let's just synchronize clicks then.
All right. Because I would literally have to shut. I would have to put us on the wait screen to do it.
Okay. Tell me how to click, Knock.
I'm starting it right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Brett Keane from God TV Radio. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Today, I'm going to challenge Matt Powell and G-Man. I've been doing a lot of thinking about Christianity and where I should go from here. And I'll be honest with you both, I'm tired of Christianity. I'm tired of the fake love. I'm tired of the fake bullshit that social media Christians have done. I've watched Christianity basically go down the tube on social media. Now, whenever it comes to...
All right, I paused it, Ali. So Brett Keane didn't show up. If you're just showing up, what's up, Emmett? Emmett is responsible for the artwork in the upper, it should be right hand corner of the screen, and for the starting screen.
I noticed that you didn't put mine in there.
Your what?
They made one for me too. I sent it to you. It's got the Raven skull.
I haven't seen it. I've been. I can't explain to you the levels of fucked up my day has been today.
Sounds like you and I are in the same place.
So, this is clearly, Brett Keane is going to be highly critical of Christianity. And...
Oh, we got John Peterson in the house.
Oh, sorry. What's up, John? Yeah, we actually had him scheduled to come on. So, but he's going to be very, very critical of Christianity in this video. I was actually very complimentary and still am. I think he asked some pretty good questions. I think it falls along the lines of the problem of evil. I just made a video on it. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. I don't think it's too bad. Yes, the questions though are, he's been a staunch advocate for Christianity, and a staunch advocate for G-Man and Matt Powell. So, I mean, that's the questions. Like, what happened behind the scenes, honestly, that turned Brett against these two individuals, because he names those two individuals and then the rest of Christianity out in the title. So, I mean, that's my initial questions going into this video.
By the way, what timestamp did you stop at?
We are at 39 seconds. So, and we will continue now. And what's up, John Peterson?
I'm still holding on by a thread. But I've got some questions for you both. But $10 tells me that you guys are going to run, that you're not even going to bother. You're going to pretend like my video doesn't even exist.
All right, I paused it again at 53 seconds, Ali. I can tell you one thing, that Matt Powell will not run from you. That's one thing that you can't say about Matt. Matt's not scared. He will not run from you. G-Man, I'm not too familiar with, but I know definitely Matt wouldn't run from Brett. He would answer, and probably pretty hatefully.
Yeah, he's not exactly known for his tact.
Yeah, I mean, and not answering is not really something he does either. So,
there is one thing that I will give to Matt Powell. Like, as fucked up as his beliefs are, he very much seems to be a true believer, if that makes sense.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
he seems very, very thoroughly convicted, versus there are some Christians, I'm not going to name names, who I have seen backpedal on positions and then reinstate them when they feel like it's politically, proper for them to do so. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think we should reiterate, like, Ali definitely doesn't know much about Brett Keane. I only know my personal history. I've been told some things, but I really don't know all that much about his past history. I didn't watch him on Drunken Peasants, don't understand the TJ Kirk dynamic there. I only know that, like, me and him had beef. There was times we were cool. There was times when he was making videos at me. I was making videos at him. And I really just wanted to honestly ask him, like, why he took down his YouTube channel, and let him ask some questions of me. But then he has a new YouTube channel. I think this video right here is on YouTube. So I guess he's back on YouTube now, which would have totally, like, defeated the purpose of the original reason why I asked him to come on the stream anyway. But yeah, so I mean, so far it's just like, I don't know, like, if he's trying to be a deist now. We'll get to that near the end if we actually make it to the end. I think we both agree that we didn't want to go 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half.
Yeah, but it's only an 11-minute video. I'm pretty sure we can make it through the whole thing.
I think we can make it through the whole thing. So we'll get to those questions.
It's not like that 2-hour freaking long documentary that we got halfway through.
Well,
that presented exactly
and the thing
zero
is,
info.
like, I seriously told Brett, like in my opinion, you are at your best when you're just simply asking questions. When he starts running his fucking mouth, I think that gets him in a lot of fucking trouble. It gets me in trouble. I'm not talking shit. But, you know, and then there is the whole
Yeah, I was
behind the
about to say,
scenes.
Knock, like, we had a whole big thing about that, like, 2 days ago.
Yeah, but there's the whole behind the scenes thing that people have told me about, that people question him about. Like he's went on the new GDC a few times, and people straight up questioning him about false flag campaigns. I know some shit went down with Skylar Fiction. I called him out specifically on that when it happened. I purposely was gonna avoid asking him about that if he came on tonight, because I told him I wouldn't trap him with anything. Probably would have asked him if there was ever a second stream, though. I mean, I'm just not the type of person not to ask a question for too long, right? So maybe it's a good thing he didn't come on, because, like I said, I am in a very foul mood. So maybe I would have ended up asking that question, and maybe it would have ended up being a shit stream. I don't know, but there are those whole behind the scene issues with Brett Keane, and then all the shit that I don't understand about, like what happened on Drunken Peasants, like the whole history of this dude. I'm not too familiar with. And I know
trying
Allie
to be
isn't.
totally, yeah, I am not familiar with jack shit. Like, just assume that I know nothing about anybody unless you know that I interact with them directly, because that's basically where I'm at. I've watched a few people. Like, I've watched Vice Rhino a few times. I've watched Nacho Witness, and I'm very fond of his content. Like, I actually really enjoy his.
I like Nacho Witness. He does some good shit.
Like, I would love to have him on the channel sometime. Like, he's awesome.
That could probably happen. I've talked to him quite a few times. I bet
maybe we could bring him on for the JW collab, like when we start talking about them, because we had that whole big stream about, you know, like the Chains of Fate that we were talking about doing. Anyway, that's all. That's our organizational crap. Y'all want us to see us react. I do want to say that my initial reaction is he talks so slow. Like, that's not an attack. It's just an observation. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. He does talk slow, but I personally like it. Like I like good. I think Brett Keane actually has a good narration voice. You know, like
he has a very calm voice. I personally get irritated when people talk really, really slow. Like, for that reason, the few times that I've watched Jill's videos, I have watched them on like double speed, because he like has this long, slow lilt also. But that's probably because of my ADHD. If you haven't noticed, I talk 50 miles an hour even when I'm high off my ass. So.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if that's the real G-Man up in the house, but I approved that comment there. Mantee's a scumbag creature. Don't fall for his bullshit. Yeah, like I don't know. I do know our personal history. Yeah. So, but yeah, he is very disliked. And give me a link. G-Man, is that the real G-Man, and does G-Man want to come on and respond to Brett Keane? Is that what's happening right now?
Let's see. I'm gonna open that channel in a new tab. Yeah, that's G-Man with 13K subscribers. That's the real G-Man in the house.
All right, let's bring him on then. You're in there? Can you send the link, Allie?
Well, I didn't want to give the Zoom link to like the whole chat, but I'll send it to the email that he just put there.
All right, yeah, let's get him on. So we are going to.
Does he want to react to the video with us? Like, what do you want? What do you want the link for, G-Man?
We'll let him say what he wants to say.
I guess he got to change the name of the stream because we got G-Man in the house.
So I'm going to, let me see, display capture. We'll get rid of that. We'll let G-Man come in. So you're giving him Zoom. Unfortunately, G-Man, we are using Zoom, so it'll just be your voice. So actually, I didn't really need to do that.
All right, let's see. Do I have the link? I have the link from when you sent it to me, so I will send him that.
So we never figured out if Zoom ever fixed their shit, did we? Or is it just
I haven't tested it again since. Like, everybody's just been saying use display capture, but narrow it to a specific window and don't move anything on that display. Since you got two displays, that might be a solution for you.
Yeah.
So you could probably like do that and like make a little tiny box around him and just put him up over by the fan art. But I just sent him the link.
Too much work. It'll just be the voice of G-Man tonight. But we'll let G-Man respond. This is unexpected, guys. Today has I'd say it slightly improved.
Well, I mean, we've got a potential dumpster fire that could start, so at least there's that.
Well, I'm not really in the mood for dumpster fires. I'm interested to hear what G-Man. I assume it's about Brett Keane's video here, so I would love to give G-Man a chance to speak to it. Brett Keane didn't show. G-Man did. This is interesting.
Well, I just sent him the Zoom link, so when he gets it.
Damn, I really wish I could get him.
G-Man's in the house.
I wish I could get your face on, dog, but I just can't.
Hey, sorry about that, G-Man. We've got technical stuff involving Zoom, so we can't put your face up on, but everyone's going to be able to hear you. Hey, is your audio working?
Okay, it's working now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. I can hear a little bit of an echo of myself too, but are you here to respond to the video or to come chill with us?
I just wanted to come in here and see what this is about because I have no problem with Brett Keane.
Oh, well, we don't have a problem with him either, other than the fact that he was supposed to hang out with us and he didn't show, so we're just responding to the video. Like, because he was supposed to come on the show tonight for us to just have a chill discussion, and he didn't come. So he pulled up the video that Brett Keane had sent him so that we could respond to it. Like, just, you know, as an atheist and a polytheist who were interested in this video, because he apparently really liked it, so.
Oh, okay. No, I just wanted to come in here and just say that I'm not running from Brett, and I have no problem from Brett. And this ain't the first time Brett's ever made a video asking questions of me. So,
well, if you want to chill with us, like if you want to chill with us for a bit and you want to answer his questions, like while you're on our stream, like you're welcome to hang with us.
I'll answer a couple of them, but I can't stay long.
Okay, that's cool.
All right, yeah. So there's like no behind the scenes issues. Like there's no reason that like he's upset. Like that's like probably the thing that confused me is because I thought that you guys were cool. And then, like, he sent me this video that was critical. So, but you're saying that this has happened before, that this is nothing new. Like, again, I don't know much about Brett.
It could be maybe, you know, he went to a different form of social media and I wasn't keeping in touch with him. Brett gets like that sometimes, but I ain't got no problem with Brett.
All right, well, I mean, he's got some questions for you. Apparently, like, let's go ahead
and
take a look at what the questions he's got for all Christians are. Like, yeah. I'd love to hear your responses since you're chilling with us.
Yeah, and you can dip out whenever, G-Man. I appreciate you coming on. It's been a while. What's up, G-Man? Yeah. So we're just reviewing.
One thing is like,
I don't want to be too critical of it because I do want Brett to come on. I want to have that chill conversation and stuff. But I do have some questions about this video that I'm interested in. So.
All right, so Knock, I'm going to do a screen share, and, like, I don't know how we're going to be able to do this, because G-Man's not going to be able to watch this at the same time as us.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
unless you switch.
I can listen.
Okay, well, if you listen onto the stream, there's going to be a little bit of a delay, so we're going to probably start discussing it before you're done watching it, so just make sure you mute your mic when you're doing that, because it sounds like there was a little bit of an echo.
It's turning out.
It's
turning out I should have definitely used StreamYards tonight instead of Zoom. This is my fault. This is I changed everything, y'all. This is why I was so late.
No, Zoom worked well for me. Zoom's fine. I'm gonna mute my microphone so you guys can play the video. My battery would be dead in 26. It's like 26%. So.
All right. We're at 53 seconds, G-Man. Starting now.
And when you do that, everybody's going to know that you guys are weak sauce. You both claim that you want to be able to answer atheists. You both claim that you care about God. Well, if you do, then answer the questions that I'm about to put forth. Every one of the questions I'm going to ask you is valid.
Okay, it looks like we're about to start the questions.
This. How do you think God goes about choosing his favorites? If you go to a children's hospital right now, you're going to see thousands and thousands of babies throughout the United States of America that are dying and suffering as we speak. Now, some of these children are going to be able to walk out. They're going to live their lives. How do you think that God goes about choosing which ones are going to suffer miserably for years or months or days and then die, but then let the other ones off the hook?
All right, pausing there at 147. So this is primarily the problem of evil, and it's an old argument. I just did a video on it. He's literally, his issues with God seem to be the same things like atheists have been telling him, that, like he's been a part of this conversation for a long time. He should have heard, this isn't new ground here. I don't understand how this has changed.
I didn't hear none of it, unfortunately. So what did he ask?
Okay, the question he asked was how does God go about choosing his favorites? And he gave the example of going into a children's hospital and how hundreds, maybe even thousands of children are suffering, but many of their peers are not. How does God go about choosing which one of them are going to suffer and which ones are let off the hook?
That's interesting. The last time I checked, God didn't have favorites. But if he's talking about the people that he chooses, or the people that he considers to be, the people that are saved, those are the people that place their faith in Jesus Christ. As far as like random babies being in a hospital and suffering, there's no Bible verses in the Bible whatsoever that says that God is going to stop people from suffering. Like that's a concern that he has. And if he just reads the Bible, the same thing I've been telling Brett for years is that God doesn't promise to take away suffering. All suffering isn't bad. And if God allows suffering to happen for a greater good, then he's not wrong for doing it. I'm sorry, he's not wrong for allowing it.
So the question, do you believe that there are a set number of saved? Like, are you one of those folks that believes that there's only, the whole list for the kingdom of heaven and all that?
I don't know how many believers are on this planet. I do know that anyone who believes in Jesus Christ is saved. So, those are the people that are part of the kingdom of God. But God also loves people outside of the church too. So, again, if his concern is for babies in hospitals, and why he thinks God is ignoring them, God is allowing suffering in this world for a specific reason.
Do you know what that reason is?
Yes, so that people can see how wicked and evil this world really is at the end of the day. And so they can see their need for a savior. I think that's one of the reasons why he allows it.
All right, we got you back on the screen now, but I can't share both at the same time. So, have you seen this video, G-Man? Were you aware of it? I'm not even sure if he put it out. He just sent this to me, like, personally.
No, I never saw the video. I subscribed to the channel and I got a notification. And I started watching.
It looks like it's not. It looks like it's not unlisted because there's comments on it.
All right, yeah. So I mean, my question.
I haven't gotten a notification. It's a new channel, not sub. There's a new channel, not sub. I have to find it. It's hard to find a Keane video on YouTube. I don't know where he is today. So
I'm sure like you've been doing this for a long time. It's not your first time being asked about the problem of evil. So I'm like, why is he calling you and Matt Powell? I'm sure Matt Powell's heard the problem of evil several times as well. Like, why is he calling you two out specifically? And because I'm sure that you've dealt with this this question before.
Well, I guess the last time I spoke to Brett, me and him left off on good terms. So maybe that's why I'm one of the first people he thought about. I don't even know who Matt Powell is. So at least not off the top of my head.
You don't want to know who Matt Powell is.
I
say you don't want to know who Matt Powell is. Matt wants you to know who he is. He's one of the he's an apprentice preacher in the NIFB.
Oh, okay, all right. But yeah, the last time I spoke to Brett, me and him was on good terms. So I mean, he be doing that for a bunch of reasons. People make videos for views. You know what I mean? Some people just do it to get attention, put my name in the title or whatever. But I don't know. He probably just had a sincere question. But this question has been answered a billion times to him. So.
Yeah, I'm actually planning because I did a video on the problem of evil, but I want to cover both sides of it. So I want to do a video on, the good Christian responses to the problem of evil, and do both sides of it. So I'm going to switch back over. This is going to get confusing, y'all. So I'm going to switch back over to the video if I can. Here we go. Maybe. There we are. All right.
All right, so let me know when to hit start. We're at 147.
Yeah, I'm sorry you can't hear it, G-Man. We'll try to summarize.
We'll try to repeat back the questions as close as we can to the original phrasing.
Starting now.
Are those kids simply able to walk away from the hospital because of the hands of science, or did God actually have anything to do with it? This is a very personal and important question to me, because for the longest time I've given credit to God for my own child who walked away from the hospital. But while I was there, I seen children suffer. I've actually seen children die. That was very, very difficult for my wife and I to be able to handle and survive through, to see that kind of pain and suffering and misery. And when I think back on it, I wondered to myself, did we witness a miracle? Or did we just get lucky? Unfortunately, the other parents and children were not. How does God go about doing that? Did those children do something wrong? Did their parents not have enough faith? Can you explain that to me?
All right, so I paused it there. He's still on. I mean, I'm fairly certain
He's
the
still
whole.
on about the children question. He said he gave the example that it was very personal to him. So G-Man, I'm curious, by the way, you believe that God is omnipotent, right?
Yes.
So if you're saying he allows suffering in the world for a purpose, my question is, wouldn't he still be choosing to some degree who suffers and why?
That's a question for a Calvinist, honestly, because I believe we have free will, and I believe that that has nothing to do about who he wants to choose to have suffer or whatever.
But I mean, what does disease have to do with free will, though? I mean, what does like disease have to do with free will, though?
Well, you're saying, well, the question that you posed had to do with whether or not he chose for a person to suffer.
The question was framed around people like in hospitals and stuff, so that's kind of where I was going with that.
From what I got from it, like I think that maybe one of his children were sick, or somebody that he knew personally was sick, that he thought he had witnessed a miracle when they were when they continued to live, I guess. But then he's making the reference to all the other people in that particular hospital that didn't make it. And I think specifically children that he was around that had cancer, or I'm not quite sure what he was saying. And it's a classic argument of evil. I've used it a million times. I'm kind of surprised to hear Brett Keane using it.
Well, Brett Keane used to be an atheist, so he knows a lot of those arguments. Just so that you know my position, I don't believe that there's a problem of evil. The reason why atheists and people like Brett probably think that there's a problem of evil is that they got this idea in their head that God is all good. I'm sorry, not all good. I'm sorry, all loving. They think that he's all loving, and because he's all loving, he's going to help every single person out there, regardless of what they do and how they live or whatever. And that's not what
the omni trait you're talking about here is omnibenevolent.
I've got to check that lasagna. I'll be right back.
No, I believe that he's all good. I had a slip of the tongue. I believe that he's all good, but all loving, like he loves everything that goes on. No, absolutely not. That is nothing. That is a bad description of his character. God nowhere in Scripture, except for when you see, Christ's return and or somebody dies and they go to heaven or whatever. You don't hear God making a promise that nobody's going to suffer. You don't want to suffer, go to heaven. You know what I mean?
Well, the problem there is though, like how could an all good God abide by suffering in the world? Like what would the justification for suffering be?
Well, again, this is when you got to take sin, righteousness, and judgment into account. Again, God is using evil in this world, or using suffering in this world to bring people to Christ. He's allowing it to happen so that people.
But why would he need to bring people to Christ if he could have created us perfect?
Well, if he created us perfect, then we would be robots. Do you consider yourself to be a free thinker?
Well, you're going to have a problem talking to me because I am a Stoic, which means that to a certain degree, I don't believe in free will.
Okay.
She's a polytheist.
Okay. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, if you talk to me at length, you'll find that I don't actually believe that free will is possible, because every single line of probability that has come into being, like everything that happened before, brought all of the choices that you could possibly make in front of you, and the programming that you have received from all of your life experiences has generated the choice that you're going to make prior to you making it. And there's enough scientific research that shows that a brain has already made a decision before the internal narrator, which is what you think of as you, has become aware of that decision. So most of what you consider to be choice making is actually post hoc justification for what you've already done. So if you get too deep into a conversation with me about choices, there's not a very good end there.
Wait, just to warn you, Ali, you're actually on camera now. So.
Oh, I'm aware.
I would love to have a chat with you about that on modern day debate, but that's not what I'm here for. But regardless of what people might think about why all good God will allow evil, again, if there's like William Lane Craig said a long time ago, if there's an ultimate good cause or an ultimate good cause for all of humanity, for allowing evil in the world, then you know what? I'm all for it. We call those in our in the world today a necessary evil. You know what I mean? I believe that God is not going to force people to be robots, because there's no way. As a matter of fact, I would love to challenge you on that free will argument. I don't know how long that would last, but that would be a really good conversation.
Hey, that might be. Hey, you know what? If you ask James, he's had me on before.
Brewing right here, right now.
I gotta say this. If you don't believe we have free will, you can never know if a man loves you or not, or a woman, or whoever you're involved with. But you would never know if they love you. You have no way of testing it whatsoever if you don't believe in free will.
I disagree. All right, hey man, you know what? If you wanna have a debate, like I know James, I've been on his debate channel before. I don't know if you actually saw the atheist versus Christian versus polytheist versus Jewish debate that was done with Sygart and Cyrus the Skeptic, but that was my first appearance on that channel. So if you want to do that, if you want to challenge me, I'd be happy to have a debate with you. That'd be fun.
Okay, great. A modern day debate.
And honestly,
modern day debate.
Really, free will doesn't even really apply to the problem of evil. So the problem is the definition of God. Do you believe that God is omnibenevolent?
He already said he does.
All right,
I believe that God is all powerful, God is all knowing, and I believe that he's an all good and a loving God. I don't believe that he's all loving.
Well, that's the problem, though, with the problem of evil, that an all good, omnibenevolent God would want to stomp out evil. And you see it in the world.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, he would. Yes, he would. You're right about that. He's going to.
But why wouldn't he already? Like, if he has all of that power right now, why wouldn't he? Why would he have created hell in one fell swoop to punish generations upon generations for the actions of one single person if he's all good?
Okay, so again, you have to take free will into account. God is not going to force people to believe what he wants them to believe.
By the way, I just want to establish, to make sure that my argument was correct there, you are, from what I've seen of you, you are a biblical literalist, right? Like, you think the Garden of Eden and stuff happened?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Anyway,
so I want to make sure that my argument there was correct, because somebody who doesn't, like, say people who are not biblical literalists, they might say, oh, well, that's a metaphor, and that's a completely different discussion.
Well, again, anybody who's actually read the Bible would know that God is going to stamp out evil. It's called the lake of fire, the final judgment.
Then why hasn't he done it already?
Well, if he did it right now, I'm sorry, if you don't know Christ as your Savior, you would be there right now. So with raging atheists and every other non-believer watching this show right now, we should. Well,
my question is why did he set up this? Why did he set up this entire crazy system in the first place?
Why did he set up this crazy system? You should be thankful that he set up the system. You want to know why? Because if God would have judged mankind, let's say, I don't know, 100 years ago, you wouldn't be here right now. Your great-great-great-great-great-great-grandmother or your great-great-grandmother would be in the lake of fire burning all of eternity, and your wishes would have been fulfilled. You know what I mean? If she didn't know Christ as a Savior. But I don't understand why the hell he set it up so that you'd have to know Christ as a Savior in the first place. Like, you keep skipping over that point. Oh, I've read the Bible. I've read the Bible cover to cover several times, and I still don't understand why. Again, following what happened with Adam and Eve, which you could argue, they did not know good from evil until after they ate of the fruit. So there's no way that they would have known that disobeying God was evil. Like, how the hell you could justify the creation of hell basically to punish a toddler for having, stuck their hand in the cookie jar. It's basically the same as setting a house on fire after a toddler stuck their hand in the cookie jar. It doesn't make sense that he would have to set up this entire thing. You're reasoning into this. The Bible says that do not lean on your own understanding, but trust in God on that. So I think you should try doing that. As far as your understanding of Scripture, it is completely off. Again, how could that be completely off? The Scripture itself. That's why I would love to have that debate, because I would like to prove the opposite. You do believe in free will.
No, I don't believe in free will at all.
I can do it right now if you like.
Go for it. Brett didn't show up. This is beautiful. Okay, I'm loving it.
How do you know your man loves you?
I'm sorry?
How do you know your man loves you?
Either of them?
One of them, two of them, your kid, whatever. How do you know they love you?
Love is a combination of actions and chemical reactions in the brain, so I know through their actions.
That's an assertion. That is not proven. How do you know that they love you?
You can't ever know what anybody thinks or feels. I just trust them when they tell me.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm going to jump out my window right now, and I'm going to start flying. Are you going to believe me when I tell you that?
I mean, I could believe that you could potentially jump out your window, but I don't believe you're going to start
I'm
flying.
gonna do it right now. I gotta
Yeah,
do it right
we
here.
can believe that you believe that you will fly, but
And I'm
we
thinking
know
you're
you're not
fly.
gonna.
And I'm gonna jump because I think I'm gonna be able to fly. Like, hold on a minute.
Yeah, I would tell you not to, please.
I mean, I would tell you not to. I can believe that you believe that you're going to go fly.
You say you believe every claim that you hear.
That's not what I said. You're strong. Okay, you're straw manning me, G-Man. G-Man, you are straw manning me. I gave you two reasonings. I said, number one, their actions show me, and number two, I trust them when they tell me. There are two different things there. There's evidence in front of me from them that they love me through their actions, and there's also their words. Those two things together lead me to believe that they love me. But
the actions don't count because those things are predetermined because of chemical reactions. There's no way in the world.
No, that's perfectly. That can still be perfectly valid, and them loving me is still true.
Whether or not man loves you, there has to be an action that man can do to prove to you that he loves you. I'm telling you what the action is.
Oh, and I'm telling you that everything that's set up for that action to occur was predetermined.
Sacrifice.
Well, everything that set up the ability for that action to occur was predetermined because you cannot change the past.
No, it wasn't. That's an assertion. That's not a fact. That's an assertion. You got to prove that.
Okay, the way to prove that is to.
I would love to debate you and Mark debate on it.
Can you change the past right now?
Can anybody change the past?
Can you change the past? Like, can you go back in the past and change any of the actions that you've taken up until this point?
Here's the thing: if you don't believe in if you believe everything that you hear, right? Well,
that's not what I said. You're straw manning me again.
But the problem is this: you got one person over here telling you that God ain't real, and you got a person over here that tells you that God is real, and they both claim they have evidence. How do you know that? How do you know who's telling you the truth that you believe everybody's claim?
That's not what I said. I didn't say I believe every single thing is true. I said that there are two sets of things that I have observed that cause me to believe that thing is true.
I don't think I've ever claimed that I have evidence that
I don't
God
think you
doesn't
understand
exist.
what free will is. I think me and you might be operating under two different definitions. So, like I said, I think that'd be an excellent debate one day.
I think God is like a possibility, but a really bad one.
As far as proving the existence of God or gods, I've had personal experience with mine. So, but I don't think that that's justification for you to believe in.
If God is a bad possibility, then where did light come from?
Well,
like, I want to know how you come to the conclusion that God is a bad possibility.
Well, I just think that, like, personally, I don't know everything about evolution, but I think evolution has more evidence. I think we have more evidence for the Big Bang Theory. I think we have a lot of evidence that suggests that God doesn't exist, but I don't know. Like, I give way for the possibility that science will prove God does exist one day. Right now, I've never seen any evidence for me to believe in any God. Not even Allie's. Me and Allie can still get along. I have a hard time getting along with Christians, though.
Well, and besides that, like, you're again not talking to an atheist only. You're talking
not
to
always
a
hard time, G-Man. Like, I have Christian friends, like even real Christians. I know a lot of people think that some of my Christian friends aren't real Christians, but like real Christians, that Christian blogger, for instance, me and him are really good friends.
But like, G-Man, as far as like God goes, I believe your God could exist. I just don't care whether or not he created the universe. I don't think he's the only one, and I think that he's a bit of a dick if he does exist. And even half of what's written about him is true.
But who exactly do you worship?
The Greek gods. But I'm also not a mythical literalist, so I don't believe they did everything in Greek mythology.
I'm sorry. Hold on 1 second. Did you just? I'm sure I heard you correctly. Did you say the Greek gods?
Take a look.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Wait a minute. So you worship Hercules?
No, Heracles.
You worship Hercules?
Heracles is a hero, not a god.
Do you worship Hercules? Yes or no?
Okay. Again, Heracles, that's the Greek name, is a hero, not a god. So no.
Do you worship Zeus? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. I don't think you should talk about my God at all. Because I could have used Hercules, Zeus, Hera. I could have used Hades. I could have used a bunch of different people. I don't think I want to talk about my God at all. I went to school. I know all about them. So.
Okay, but did you not just hear what I said? Okay, but did you not just hear what I said about not being a mythic literalist?
With Zeus any day of the week.
Okay, but G-Man, you're not listening to me. I'm not a mythic literalist. Unlike you, who believes that every single thing in your book is true, I believe that mythology holds truth, but is not itself true. In other words, I don't think that I asked you that earlier. Do you believe that the Garden of Eden was literal and things like that?
I'm telling you that I believe everything in my book is true. See,
that's okay. Like when I asked you,
Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, is a library of books.
Okay,
I
but
don't
when
know
I
what you're
asked
talking
you, do
about.
you believe, I asked you straight up, are you a biblical literalist? Do you believe that, things like the Garden of Eden were literal? And you said yes.
Oh, yes, I
A
definitely
biblical
believe the Garden
literalist
of Eden
means
was
that you
literal.
believe that the biblical literalism means that you believe everything in that book was historically accurate.
Yes,
That's
I
what that
do.
definition is.
In its
Okay.
context.
Now, what do you mean in its context?
In its context, I believe everything that is because some of what you're reading in the book of Genesis and throughout the Bible, especially when you're reading Ezekiel in the book of Revelation, because it's written in apocalyptic language and it was written in Hebrew. The Old Testament and New Testament was written in Greek. Sometimes you're reading something that is poetic. Sometimes you're reading something that is a metaphor. Sometimes you're reading something that is literally there. It's called exegesis. I don't just read the Bible like it's a comic book. You know what I mean? And just say, oh my God, you really believe that trees are people? No, I don't believe that. I understand that it's a personification of a description.
Okay, so do you believe that the Garden of Eden was literal?
To make a point. I know how to read and I understand what I'm reading. I don't
Okay,
believe
so
a lot
do
of people
you
don't
do
know
you
I understand what they're reading sometimes.
Okay,
A lot
so
of
I
times.
understand that something like Psalms, or Song of Solomon would probably be metaphorical. But my question is the things that display themselves as literal history, stuff like the flood, the garden, all of Exodus, things of that nature. Do you believe that those things literally happened?
Yes, I do. I believe that there was a flood. I believe that the Jews were in Israel. Were in Egypt. I believe that the Egyptian army was drowned. I believe in all of that stuff. And I have good reason to believe it. And I don't believe it all just because somebody told me. I believe it because of evidence. People say, well, how do you know that the Jews were over there in Egypt? And they say, we have no bones, we don't have this, we don't have that. Well, we have Egyptian hieroglyphics. We have a lot of things.
No, we
So,
actually don't. Like that was something that I've studied pretty extensively, and as far as I could tell, there have been absolutely no records of the Jews being enslaved in Egypt. Like they were meticulous record keepers, and there were none.
Next Monday, not this Monday, but next Monday, you should watch the G podcast because I'm actually going to be talking about that a little bit. Because I can promise you this, I can prove it. We'd love for you to call in and try saying that.
How about this? I will agree to watch that. I will agree to watch/listen to that if you don't have a problem with Knock and I responding to it at some point on our show. Is that cool?
No, I don't have a problem with that. But here's the thing: you can have your opinion about the God of the Bible. I have no problem with that. But you're religious like I am, so you obviously worship Zeus and Hera, and you give them different names. I'm sorry.
But, okay, well, no, Zeus and Hera are correct. Okay, like your use of
any day of the week.
Okay, so your use of Hercules, that's the Latin name. That's the Roman name for Heracles. Heracles is the Greek. It doesn't make a difference.
The name, just because it's transliterated into another language doesn't mean that the meaning changes. Whether I say it in English, Spanish, or if I say it in Russian.
Okay, what I'm saying is that's the reason that I corrected it,
it would be
kind of like Greek.
It would be kind of like me saying Yeshua instead of Jesus. It's a respect thing, Like I'm going to say Jesus because I know you believe in Jesus.
So I'm using it in a different language. The name is Hercules. And that's how I'm using it.
Well, yeah. Well, you don't know that, but I think she's using it because she's not going to mispronounce the name of an important figure in her mythology.
Well, I got news for you about your deity. Since atheists always mock me about my God and whatnot, as far as Hercules goes and Zeus goes. See, I believe that Zeus exists, believe it or not. I just believe he's a devil, a demon, according to the Bible.
Can you give me a meaningful distinction between how you would determine what is a god and what is a demon?
Oh, between a god and a demon? A rebellious, fallen angel that masquerades as an angel of light and pretends that it's other gods, versus the true and living God who is obviously responsible for creation, responsible for the air that we're breathing in and the
you say
coming out of our bodies.
Okay, I'm gonna let you finish for a sec, but how you say obvious, but I'm curious how you can determine that your God is not a trickster deity that is masquerading as a deity that has done all these things.
Yeah, it came pretty late in history.
No, I would love to have a discussion about that. We can talk about intelligent design sometime. We could compare that with the theory of evolution, and I can show you that he's not a trickster deity. I have no problem with that whatsoever.
I mean, we can try to have that conversation, but the problem is there's far more evidence in my favor, and I do believe in evolution. The thing is, though, the difference between us is that I don't have to believe that my gods created the universe. They could have come into existence with the universe, and that doesn't make them any less gods. Christians confuse me because they want their God to be the best, and I don't understand where that comes from.
You're going to get along great, because I actually define demigods or naturalistic gods the way you do. Me and you're going to be best friends because I can use you to prove to the raging atheist that atheism is foolishness. You know what I mean? Like me and you can work as a powerful team, except when we're talking about the Bible, because that ain't gonna work out. So
well, the problem is that I've got no interest. I've got no interest in disproving atheism, though. I don't care whether he believes in my gods or not.
Yeah,
like I've had personal experience with them, which
I would
justifies
love for
my
you to
beliefs.
prove that atheism is foolish to me, because I honestly think that if there's a God, that God is so beyond us, he's not going to give a shit about a raging atheist talking smack about him.
I mean, I think that my gods don't give a shit.
He does care. He cares about how God is so fanatical that he knows how many hairs is on your head.
I know, like, beliefs are so fickle, aren't they? Like one person can believe a thing, and then another person can believe a completely different thing, and everybody has all these different universes of beliefs.
Well, also, I would like to point out, you said demigods and natural gods a moment ago. Like, demigods are like the half-human children of gods, generally. A lot of them turn into heroes. Natural gods are very different. Natural gods are gods of the earth. Like, I don't feel like you can conflate those two things.
Me and you're going to be best friends. I got to get you on Steve McRae's YouTube channel. That's what I got to do. Me and you're going to be buddies. You got to watch my video when I argue against atheists, when I use your Greek God to prove to these atheists that theism is correct and atheism is incorrect. You're arguing. You're taking my arguments at this point. You should go check out my YouTube channel sometime to see how I argue that way.
I don't. Well, the thing is I disagree with the idea that atheism is a ridiculous position. I think that anybody who hasn't had personal experience with the gods is reasonable to believe that they don't exist.
I don't believe that atheists can make sense out of their worldview unless they use the Bible.
Do you think atheism is my worldview?
You need God to make sense out of this world. You can't do it with random thoughts and opinions and except trying to argue for chemical reactions that they don't even understand.
Do you think
except the sad thing is
talk about a plethora of things.
Like, G-Man, do you think atheism is my worldview?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Do you think atheism is my worldview?
Yes, I believe that your worldview is grounded in atheism.
Atheism is simply an answer to a question.
I've talked to you before, Raging.
I know, like, atheism is simply an answer to a question. So I think I should maybe clarify to you. My worldview is secular humanism.
That's your opinion. Atheism is a lot more than that.
Well, I mean, it's simply
atheism, but I'm gonna talk about
I get asked a question: does a God exist? I say no. That's atheism. But my worldview is secular humanism. I personally believe that every human being has merit. Christians, non-Christians, theists, non-theists, no matter your color, no matter your creed, no matter your race, I believe every single human has merit.
Well, and my worldview is Stoicism, which is itself, does have how can I explain this? If you read the writings of the early Stoics, there is a presupposition of at least one deity that is built into Stoicism, but it is not required for Stoicism to function. I know many atheists who are Stoics. Like, my worldview is grounded in a philosophy, not in my worship of my gods.
Very interesting. Again, I would like to go on modern day debate with you.
I want to see that.
There's a whole chapter. Well, not a whole chapter in the Bible, but there's definitely, as a matter of fact, there is a chapter in the Bible, Romans chapter 1, and then there's 1 Corinthians, I believe either 1 or 2, it talks about that. So,
I'm going to reach out to James, G-Man. You reach out to James. Ali will reach out to James. We're going to make this happen. A debate between G-Man and Ali on free will. You guys heard it on A Raging Atheist first.
Yeah, like, I did not expect that to happen, because we still have...
Ali, I think it'd be an interesting, entertaining conversation. We can see two opposing worldviews go head to head.
Yeah, I think it'll definitely be interesting. Like,
right. Hopefully you won't change your mind, because I got stalkers on YouTube called Dragoons that have a habit of contacting people who agree to debate with me, getting them to time with G-Man, because G-Man's G-Man. You know what I mean? A bunch of stupid stuff. So I
don't think Ali's one of those, G-Man. Like, she walked into her first debate with Sygart. So.
I'm sorry. Read religion, not mythology. My bad.
Well, no, Naka pointed out, I walked into my very first debate as a 4-way against Sygart, so, like, I'm fine with debating people so long as you are willing to deal with my arguments honestly. Like, there's been at least 2 or 3 times in this conversation where you strawman me. Please listen carefully to the things that I say and don't try to extrapolate on them. That's all I ask.
And I ask you do the same thing with me.
Yeah, I might ask you 1.5 million clarifying questions. Yeah, I think that we can find appropriate definitions and things. Like if I don't understand you or I don't think I understand you, what I'll often do is I'll repeat things back and I'll ask you if that's what you said. Like I've done that twice now in this conversation where I've repeated something back and I've been like, is that what you mean? And you confirmed it. So like that's what I do. I try to be as honest as possible.
All right. But listen, my battery is at 8% now, actually. So I actually got to get going. I appreciate the link. As far as the Brett Keane stuff go, again, I'm not afraid of Brett. Brett wants to talk to me when I'm live again. I'll give him a link and he can come in and talk.
All right, no, I appreciate you coming in, G-Man. This is far more interesting. I'm looking forward to this debate. I can't wait for it to happen.
I think I'm gonna learn something, and I definitely believe Allie's gonna learn something.
Yeah, at the very least, we'll have a great discussion. Either way.
Yeah, it's gonna be epic. I think. I'm
definitely. Anyway, guys, don't run on automatic. Please think. I'm stealing Bionic Dance's punchline. Don't run on automatic. Please think.
All right, man. Have a good night.
All right, have a good night. We still got a video to respond to. Now we got like 3 minutes in.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna. I think we can end it here. I mean, this was the show, right? Like this came out of nowhere. We had good banner. I don't even need to, like, I feel better than I have all fucking day. I don't want to ruin it. So.
Well, I mean, you said that you like this video. We've only got 8 more minutes left. How bad could it get?
I mean, we can. I'm down for it. I think what's going to happen, though, is we'll leave this stream up the way it is, but we're going to have to make a G-Man portion, right? Like, that's going to have to be a video. That's going to have to be a video. So... unexpected. What's up, Dragnaut? G-Man he did say he was only at like 20% of his battery on his phone before you got here, but he did dip out soon after. You guys heard it here first. We have a debate. I'm going to take you off the screen, Allie. So actually you heard it here first. We're going to have a debate, on Modern Day Debate, Allie versus G-Man on Free Will. I'm going to reach out to James tomorrow. We're going to make this happen. This is going to be the shit. I thought what just happened was brilliant. I was just sitting here cheesing the whole time. And trust me, guys, I haven't smiled all fucking day. I needed that. I'm glad it happened. Thank you, G-Man, for coming on. So, yeah, we will finish this. I'm going to start it up again at 2:45. Again, I do actually like the video, but I have serious questions about Brett now. Is Brett Keane a deist? So let's continue.
G-Man, this question's mostly for you, but I want Matt Powell to answer this next question as well. The Bible has repeated incidences where men of God take in slaves, men, women, and children. Sometimes they go into tribes and cities and kill everyone.
Slavery question.
But there are times where God permits them to actually take in slaves. Even Jesus Christ in the New Testament says to obey your masters. He doesn't tell the masters to release the slaves. He doesn't tell them that they need to be able to live equally, that if you truly want to do unto others as you want to do unto me. He doesn't give any kind of philosophy whatsoever.
All right, so again, he asked really good questions here. Questions that I would probably ask. I paused it at 3:28, Allie. Questions that I would probably ask.
That's the question that I nailed Sygart to the wall on.
But again, like, these are not new questions, and Brett has been a staunch Christian. So I'm asking, like, you know, what, and I would have even asked him had he shown it. Like I said, I was going to keep it completely civil. I was going to let him ask questions. But I would ask Brett, like, where is this coming from? Because these are not new arguments. Like, nothing, you know, it took me going to fucking prison and seeing evil motherfuckers to break through my indoctrination. Like, these are not new arguments lobbied at Brett Keane. These are just old arguments that he's using to justify a new position, I believe. And that's the one issue that I really have with it is I'm not sure if this is genuine. Is this just Brett Keane flip-flopping again, honestly?
I mean, I guess we got to kind of get deeper into the content in order to find out, huh?
Well, I mean, like, the whole question, like, it's just like, if these aren't things to me that would, like, change. All right, Brett Keane, you went into Christianity and you still said fuck, right? You didn't think that Christians would have a problem with that. Like, I don't get it. But maybe he gets to that later. I think he gets to that later. So yeah, I will continue we're starting at 328.
That he wants to end slavery whatsoever. I've tried repeatedly to bring up Moses and how he saved the
I gotta
Jews,
I gotta get the lasagna
but
out
it
of the
seemed
oven.
like
I'll
the
be right
only
back.
reason why they were freed in the first place was because God wanted to have these people serve some kind of purpose, not because he was actually wanting to get anybody out of slavery, but just so there could be an interesting story in the Bible to be talked about. Because even after the escape from Egypt and the Pharaoh, there was slavery after slavery after slavery. Now, if God truly loves us, why would he allow people to spend their entire lifetimes, sometimes even born?
Okay, I paused it at 408. I hardly heard any of it, so I'll just let you respond, Ali.
So he said if God is all loving, why would he allow some people to spend the entirety of their lives in slavery?
What the fuck did I just do? Guys, I just ended somehow, without doing anything, the Zoom meeting. Give me a second, I'll bring Ali back on. So, we'll be right back, guys. Alright, we're back. I don't know how that happened. So I've sent a link. Let me get rid of that shit. I sent the link. Ali should be right back, guys. This has been a night. Did not expect G-Man to come on. I thought Brett Keane was going to be here. He canceled last minute. So yeah, it has been a night. And it's not over. Nope, it's not over. It's not over, guys. I fucked up. Somehow got rid of my Zoom link with Ali. She should be back momentarily. Let me see where she's at. Not here yet. Not here yet. Let's pull that over to the other screen. We don't need that over there no more. Ali, come back. I don't want this to last all night. I fucked up. Where's she at? Ali, where are you at? I guess I'm just going to play the video, guys, again, because I did not hear the shit. So I guess she'll come back when she comes back.
Born into slavery and die in slavery. And yes, the Bible actually gives instruction on how to beat the hell out of your slave, how to mistreat them if they're not following orders and commands. This is something that's really difficult to me because I actually believe that people should be treated equally. I believe that all
I didn't
men,
realize
women,
that you
and
sent me a new
children
one,
should
sorry.
be treated with love.
I sent you one of mine because they were
Alright.
unlimited time.
We waited. I started playing the video again. What's up, Ali? Well, Ali's back.
Hey, it said your free video. It said your free meeting ended, so you had to start a new one. It's because you don't have Zoom Premium like I do.
Oh, yeah, I didn't do shit. I thought one-on-ones were like unlimited and shit.
Nope. Apparently, any meeting is limited to an hour on free.
Well, that's some bullshit. Never using Zoom again.
Well, this is why I use Zoom, because I have Zoom Premium. Like, I have it for the next year.
Zoom sucks. We can't even see our faces when we use it. I hate Zoom. Zoom is going off my computer. Fuck Zoom.
Well, it's useful for stuff like what we did with Cirrus. Like, we find it useful for, like, screen sharing and stuff so that everybody can see a video at the same time.
Yeah, but it pisses me off. I hate it. I hate it.
What's up, Doubting Thomas?
All right, we're going to try to get through the video, guys. So we are at 435. It's pretty much primarily just the problem of evil. And Brett pretty much declaring he's a deist at the end of it. And that's seriously my question here is what led to this? Like I would like, now that he didn't show for the civil conversation, I want to have that conversation. What led to this, Brett? Like, because I really like the video. I like the questions. I think that the problem of evil is probably the best argument against God. We saw G-Man squirming there before he pushed it to a modern day debate. So yeah, I would like to know what led to this. I think that was my questions coming out of this. But I did tell Brett, brilliant. I think Brett's best when he's asking questions. I really do. I think he asks pretty good questions. Just whether or not they're genuine is the question, right? The real question. All right, so we are now at 4:35, Ali. We will continue this. We'll try to get through it, guys. There will be a G-Man portion of the video on the channel. I'll try to do it tomorrow, or at least make it the Saturday video.
Yeah, D-Man and I started to get into an impromptu debate, and he assumed that we agreed a little bit more on a few more things than we did because I'm a theist. That was a really interesting experience, honestly.
And totally unexpected. I did not expect G-Man to, like I knew he had subscribed.
We were both kind of shocked.
Yeah, like I wasn't expecting it. A good moment, and now I feel better because I've had a shitty day. So now I feel pretty good. I'm glad that we streamed tonight because I was like really not wanting to.
All right, we got like what 7 more minutes. We can do this. We can do this in like half an hour.
I hope so because man, I need to just chill. I want to go to bed. I've been sleeping like most of the day anyway, so why not? All right. 4:35.
And decency. And how the fuck can you do that if you're being owned by someone else? My third question is, at what point in time did Christianity start caring about concepts like abortion? At what point in time did we start talking about how fetuses are actually sacred and important, and how women should go through with 9 months of a fetus being in their body to release it onto the world?
All right, so I stopped it right there. It seems like he has changed his position to pro-choice. I'm not sure. He's not declaring that, but he's asking relevant questions, right? Like these are questions that I would probably ask. But Brett Keane has not been pro-choice.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting.
Like, how do you turn all of a sudden? Like, how does like these are the arguments lobbied against a pro-life person. If you're vocal about it, probably daily, right? So like, I don't see like this is one of the pro-choice arguments. You know, especially when it comes to God. Like, God has no problem killing babies. He did it in the flood. He did it in Egypt. No issues, right? So this is a relevant question. When did Christians make this an issue? It's not really in the Bible. So they're good questions, but again, like questions coming from Brett fucking Keane, right? Mm-hmm. I'll let you comment, Ali. I'll be right back.
Well, I don't know enough about Brett Keane to comment on him being the one to make the comments, but what I do know is that generally hardcore, more fundamentalist style Christians don't tend to ask these questions. So it's starting to make me wonder whether or not he has shifted that position also, or if he's just trolling that he has. I don't really know. He pals around with Will Kincaide, and Will Kincaide is the troll. So a couple of people in the chat are saying literally the Brett Keane cycle going full circle. So maybe he's just back to some of his original positions. I don't know. Cat, there's like a 30-second delay because that's just what normal latency is when Nox streams. But if y'all want to give me your opinions, like, I'm a total virgin when it comes to this particular set of content. So this is me experiencing this dude for the first time. Like, all of this is just kind of
talking,
a raw
Ali. I'm
reaction.
feeding my daughter. I'll be right back.
No problem. So if y'all want to tell me a little bit of history and kind of like do the edumacation, I would super appreciate you guys' opinions. So, that said, these questions are valid questions, I think. I think that they are, much like Nox said, very well tread questions. So, like, the Brett Keane challenge thing, I'm not really sure if he should get credit for asking these questions in the sense that he came up with them. The slavery argument, for example, I used against Sygart when we were talking about the problems of morality within our various faiths, because we were asked, like, from our particular worldview, where does morality derive? And then we were asked what our system of morality is. And I had asked earlier during the part of where do we derive our morality from, I asked Cy directly, do you think that Jesus was the final word on human morality? Like, do you think that things that he said were the final word? And he said yes. So when we got to where does your morality derive from, I asked him, so why didn't Jesus say anything about slavery other than, you know, slaves should serve even shitty masters? So
All right, I am back, Allie. We're doing her blood work. So yeah, finish your point and I'll start the video.
well, all I was saying was, so these questions that are being asked here, some version of these questions were asked in that debate too. The one that I had with Sygart. A lot of these questions were drawn over, but especially the slavery point. So this isn't exactly original, but it's interesting because of who it's coming from what I understand.
Yeah, that's seriously, like, I literally told him, like, this is a really good video. These are good questions. These are solid questions. But the question
There's some
I
of the
had
oldest
was,
questions that are being asked of Christianity in the modern day, though.
well, and he literally in the GDC, in one of the GDCs that I was in, he told me that he still got along with Matt. But then he sent me a message saying fuck me and fuck Matt when I didn't show up. So I'm like, I think he has some issue with Matt Powell that he just doesn't want to talk about publicly. And then I think he must have an issue with G-Man, and that issue was obviously new to G-Man, as we saw when G-Man was here. So these are obviously issues with him, and maybe with his Christianity. Maybe is Brett Keane a deist now? That's the question that I have when I watched the whole video.
Well, I mean, I asked the chat to give me whatever information they want to on Brett. If y'all want to comment on G-Man too, let me know what I'm in for. I would love to see your guys' comments.
Oh yeah, you're
Anybody
locked in
watching the
now.
VOD?
I'm reaching out to James tomorrow, so.
Excuse me, I'm choking. Let's start the video again so I can just go ahead and do that with my mic muted.
All right, so, yep, starting at 5:03.
Why is it that whenever a woman goes through with her pregnancy and brings a child into the world, it seems as though all the Christians who wanted her to keep the baby vanish and they're not there to actually help her take care of the baby? The other issue is why should we even be concerned about abortion? Even if there's 400 million or 1 billion fetuses aborted per year, why should it matter? Because when we read the Bible, we read where God drowns all the babies in the world. We read passages where God actually commands men to go into cities and tribes and not only kill the men and women, but also kill the babies.
Yeah, all right, so I paused it at 5:47. Like, you know, this is probably what confused me the most, because I literally got attacked by Brett Keane himself for my pro-choice stance. Literally. This is part of our history, is him attacking me about my pro-choice stance. So like this just throws me completely off guard here.
Yeah, like, again, I don't have any exposure to the history with this guy, but from even just the stories that I've heard, what's interesting is that he's asking these particular questions almost from a secular humanist perspective. Like, from a biblical perspective of any kind, it's very difficult to ask these questions. One would have to admit that God is either not perfect, not omniscient, you know, like, not one of the omni traits. You'd have to admit that he's not one of those things in order for these questions to be answered. Like, if you say, well, like Sygart's answer, for example, to like why didn't God end slavery with Jesus was, well, people would have killed Jesus, and I'm like, well, they did that anyway, right? Like, he said people, wouldn't have listened. It wasn't, humanity wasn't ready for the message. And my response to that was, God's omnipotent. Like, why would he not create the conditions upon which humanity would be ready to receive that message? Why did he allow slavery to go on for so fucking long? And why does the Bible have like legal ways of practicing it? Like, if it were a sin, it would be prohibited in the Bible, right? Like, it could have been prohibited in the Bible from the beginning, and yet you make the argument of culture. Well, isn't that a culture that God allowed to develop? Like, isn't that a culture that if you believe that all of the commandments include not just the 10 commandments, but all of the commandments in, like Exodus, Leviticus, Deuteronomy, like if you believe that all of those commandments that are in those various books are like legitimate from God himself, then why would he not have put prohibitions on slavery then and there instead of just creating some like logical loopholes for how often you can beat your slaves and other rules of that nature? And I can quote those rules because people get pissy with me all the time with this argument. So,
Well, yeah,
it does not make fucking sense. Either your God's not omniscient, he's not omnipotent, or he's not omnibenevolent because he allowed this sort of thing to happen even with his chosen people.
yeah, and as I tried to point out to G-Man when he was here, like the major issue here is the omnibenevolence part. Like you cannot look at the problem of evil rationally and not get rid of one of those omnis, the obvious being the omnibenevolent part, because the omnibenevolent part would compel God to eradicate evil before it happened because he's omniscient. So the problem of evil is a very good fucking argument. Christians don't like it because they can't really respond to it. And as we saw with G-Man tonight, the response was pretty lame. So you have to give up one of those O's for your God to be rational. You just have to.
Yeah, and you already know which of those don't apply to mine. Like I talked about that on the Ask a Pagan stream.
That's
like,
why talking to a polytheist is completely different than talking to a Christian. Completely. The definition of God is different.
Yeah, like my gods don't have to be absolutely perfect. And again, this is me speaking as me. There are some Hellenists that actually do apply the quad omni to the gods, but they also believe that they are unmoved, almost deistic wise, and that us paying attention to them and ritually purifying ourselves is what allows us to experience their blessings. Basically, we have to unclutter ourselves in order to get their blessings, as opposed to them interacting with us directly, which is closer to my beliefs. Like there's a wide range even within just my religion. Right? Like we're not so dogmatic with every single belief that we're going to oust each other as not Hellenist or something like that just for a difference of opinion. I had a fantastic discussion with another Hellenist after the Ask a Pagan stream, by the way. He contacted me to ask me why I didn't think the gods were 100% good. And we had a very interesting discussion. But we still, neither of us accused the other of not being a Hellenist. We just have very different positions.
Yeah, and you definitely don't get that from Christians. If you don't believe in their interpretation, you're not a Christian.
Yeah, there's a lot of special pleading and like, yeah.
Right.
There's special pleading and fucking no true Scotsman. Like that is the entirety of Christian bickering, in my opinion.
All right, I think we're officially halfway through. So
yep, we're at 5:47. Let's see if we can chug our way through this and see if there's anything interesting. I'm almost like interested to answer these questions as a pagan, but my response for the most part is, well, the gods aren't omnibenevolent. They help the people they feel like helping for their own reasons.
And again, this isn't some like rage response. Like my initial reaction when Brett canceled on me, I even put it on the chat. We're gonna have a rage stream. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. In fact, like I didn't even rage on G-Man. I am actually feeling pretty good. This is not a rage stream. This is just serious questions. Like I told Brett that I liked the video, and I meant it. I do. I like the video, but I have questions. So we're gonna start again at 5:47.
Pregnant women, children. So when did the church decide at what point in time, after all these hundreds of passages of killing of children over and over and over, at what point in time after King David was punished by his own child being killed directly by God, did everybody start saying, oh, we need to stand outside of abortion clinics and run our mouths and give women trouble and argue and debate countlessly over and over, endlessly, never stopping, whenever the God of the Bible clearly doesn't give a rat's ass whether you're a baby or a child or a man or a woman or an animal, he'll kill you.
All right, I paused it right there at 6:31, and I just so I could take it a bit farther, Brett Keane, because it's not just people arguing against each other or protesting against each other. There has literally been deaths because of this issue. Bill O'Reilly famously demonized an abortion doctor, and he was murdered. Women have been fucking beaten, killed, raped, walking into abortion centers. This is a serious
Trampled.
issue.
Trampled was another one.
And I'm not saying
And
that
there's
like
also, and
Brett
actually,
isn't recognizing that, because he is, but it goes farther than just people protesting outside of abortion clinics.
well, and it actually goes even further than that, because I would argue for those who have, under duress, I'm going to mind you, I have never met a woman who chose an abortion as a form of, quote, birth control. I've
Me
seen
neither.
a lot
Never.
of women who their kids had health problems, or they were physically, financially, etc., completely unable to report, to support the kid.
Every woman
could not
I've
give them a
talked
good
to
life.
ever that has
Or-
had an abortion, it was a decision that they made in their lives that affected them emotionally. They don't want to talk about it. It is a very hard decision to make, something that you live with, and women do. This isn't some form of birth control here. And you would think that if you believed in an all-good God, then an all-good God would actually be for abortion. Why would you want to bring a child into the world if you can't afford it here in this capitalist fucking society? You shouldn't. It's not the responsible thing to do.
Naka, you want to do something even easier?
Go for it, please.
If you believe in original sin, and you believe that sin can't be cleansed until baptism and acceptance of Jesus Christ, then it's actually better to abort every single baby, because if those babies don't receive a soul until they're actually born, then that soul can't go to hell.
Yeah, we got a lot of people that just really seem to love Brett Keane. What's up, y'all? like I honestly.
Well, and if you don't believe in original sin, like if you believe that babies are pure, well, then it's even better to abort them, even if you believe that life begins at conception, because then they can't go to hell because they can't have sinned.
Yeah, it's. I actually like Ocean's argument that God is the only one that deserves to go to hell, because if God exists, he is responsible for all evil in the world. And if you're responsible for the evil, you should be the one to be punished for it.
Well, yeah, because if God created everything, then he would have had to create evil
argument
too.
is fucking brilliant.
Oh, I've seen that video. It is brilliant, and people should watch that video. But just saying, like, if you believe that, that like God is all good, he's right. If God created everything, all that is, and he exists outside of everything, then that means that he would have to have created evil as well. Because evil cannot exist without having itself first been created if God created everything.
And that would make God pretty much like human, right? Because we're all good and evil. We all have that capacity.
Well, at the very least, like, he could not have created beings that then became evil if he himself did not have evil within him, because
exactly,
is man not created in the image of God according to the Bible? Now, for, us, what's interesting for us is there are different creation stories. Set of sins. Why would God create the concept of sin in the first place? Like, why would he feel the need to, and to create a place to punish people who do those things? Like, none of that makes any sense whatsoever. And you can try to say, well, it's the will of God, but like, if you look at it through any level of logic, and again, man was created in God's own image, which means we have the capacity to understand this. Jesus himself was supposed to be the man, and he did. Like, why and how? What is the purpose of that?
And you get to the original question. The original question is this: if a triple O God, and I will point out that Richard Mattson actually believed the Christian belief is a 4-O God. I can't remember that fourth O that he put out. We just talked to Richard. Go check it out. He pointed that out. But if you have a 3-O God, then how does Satan exist? A 3-O God would have eradicated Satan the moment he had doubts about God's 3-O status, right?
Well, and that doesn't even make sense either, because from a lot of Christians, when you start asking them to define what the difference between mankind, angels, and demons were, they say angels don't have free will, and yet Lucifer was said to have rebelled. So my question is, like, at that point, now God must either not be omnipotent or not be omniscient, because he done fucked up twice. He gave man the capacity for evil without having taught him what evil was, and he accidentally made an angel that could decide for himself. In fact, he made a bunch of angels that could decide for themselves, because there was a whole host of angels that went down to hell with Satan.
Like they literally believe that God and the Mollusk Rising just subscribed. Welcome, Mollusk Rising. They literally believe that God, fucking, I lost track of my thought. Thank you to the new subscriber. But shit, I had it. They literally think that God is. I lost it. Fuck. Not your fault, new subscriber. This is my fault. Been a weird night.
Knock has undiagnosed ADHD. He just doesn't know it yet.
Well, my issue in life is my diagnosed OCD. That's my issue in life.
All right, well, let's go ahead and play the video, and we'll see if you recover your thought. You'll probably just mute it without warning me.
God damn, it was brilliant too. That's the only thing I remember about it. Like, this was a good fucking thought.
It went up in smoke.
I know. I need to smoke more, right? Like I do better. I haven't smoked this whole stream yet. I've been off camera the whole fucking stream. I haven't smoked yet. I need to rectify that. All right, so 6:31. We're starting again.
Right where you stand. So why? Why is it that Christians take the abortion issue so importantly when nothing really matters on it? Here's another question. This will be my last question. Jesus walked around with 12 disciples, all of them men. And he told them straight to their face that he loved them. He cared about them, that they were...
This is the second most confusing part of the video, because I literally told Brett that Matt wanted to commit genocide on gay people, and he was like, no, he didn't. And then Matt went on Brett's stream and admitted to wanting to commit genocide against gay people, and Brett was like, no, he didn't. And now here he is, like, kind of supporting LGBTQ rights. I mean, no shit, that really happened. I mean, that really happened. On Brett Keane's fucking live stream, Will Kincaide looked up my video of Matt Powell doing his homophobic shit, and he was like, yeah, Rage is right. And Brett Keane was like, no, he didn't say that. What's up, Nigger Saves? Smoke weed every day.
We gonna start again?
Yes, we're gonna start, and it's probably gonna go for a minute because it's time to feed my daughter. So, all right, I'll be right back.
Spend all of
you heard it here, guys. He's feeding his daughter.
Is loving a man incorrect or wrong to do? Or is it only wrong if a man touches another man, even though it's consensual? What is it about homosexuality that makes it such a horrible sin? Because according to the book of James and John, all sin is considered equal. If you lust for a woman, it's just as bad as if you have a sexual episode or interaction with that of a man on man. If you think of harming another person, it's just as bad as homosexuality according to the Bible. Hell, if you eat shellfish or wear mixed fabrics, or you doubt God, or whatever the case might be, like in the Old Testament, you're in serious trouble with this God. It seems like damn near...
All right, I paused it right there at 8:04. I heard not a word. So, Allie, I'll let you comment first because I have watched this before. Once you comment, I'll probably know what you're talking about.
So what he said was, is it wrong for a man to love another man? Because according to the Bible, all of the sins are equal. He said lusting for a woman is just as bad as homosexuality according to a particular verse in the Bible. And, he asks, is it wrong for a man to love another man, or is it only wrong for them to touch each other, even though it's consensually? What exactly is wrong with homosexuality?
Well, yeah, and I fully stand behind this message, 100%. Good questions. But again... this really isn't new to Brett, but Brett has apologized for Matt Powell and others, and I'm glad he's making this statement. I agree 100%. This is my advocacy. This is what I stand for. All humans are equal. Not talking smack, Brett, but I just have questions because I tried to tell you that that Christianity goes against that. I tried to tell you that. I think you made videos about me telling you that, and here you are, and I'm glad you're agreeing now, but again, I had to ask why.
All right, well, let's continue.
Anything that you do, from masturbation to Just cursing out loud seems to have an issue. I mean, I find it so weird that there's Christians out there who will actually say, Brett, your foul language disappoints God. It angers God. Yet at the same time, you believe in a book that has God getting so angry at people that he forces them to drink piss and eat shit. This is a book where a God gets so tyrannical and angry it actually kills men, women, and children. But you are somehow offended by my foul language?
Paused it right there. 8:45. I make this argument all the time. Words cannot curse you. Words are just language. They're adjectives. Those curse words aren't going to curse you. But this is it. This is what I think that Brett is mad about, because you know, like, if you claim to be a Christian and you're a Christian apologetic and you curse all the time, Christians aren't gonna like that.
Yeah, they kind of share something with the sort of red pill crowd, in that they believe that being calm and collected and overly polite somehow makes you correct.
Yeah, so again, like, I completely agree, Brett Keane. I think that it's stupid. I think that Christians go out of their way to be Wally Cleaver type characters, right? Like, oh, look at us. We're so much better than you because we don't say these awful little words. Like, fuck you. You say fuck, motherfucker. You shut your fucking thumb in the goddamn door of your car. You say fuck. Or you say, God dang it, but it's still a curse word because you mean it like that.
Or Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, I mean...
I mean, to be fair, I'm actually still... That's a bit of my latent Christianity, is the fact that I still use the names of their gods for cursing.
Oh, so do I all the fucking time. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, like, why would I invoke the name of, like, a god and a demigod that I'm not particularly interested in worshiping when I get mad? That just seems like such a strange thing.
Yeah, and again, like,
think about what you're actually saying. Like, you're saying whatever thing just happened, or whatever person hurt you, or whatever thing you just, like, pissed you off, you're asking the God of the Bible to send that to a lake of fire. That's what you're doing when you curse. Like, is that actually even a curse, or are you just asking your God for something?
I didn't even get to ask that question of G-Man, and I wanted to. I'm like, I wanted to ask G-Man, is it evil for God to send somebody to hell who was a really good person and did great things in their lives, and their only fucking sin was not believing in Jesus Christ? Would that be evil? I didn't get a chance to ask that question because, you know, it became a mini dumpster fire for a brief moment.
Well, let's see where he's going with this, because honestly, I'm curious if he's still a theist if he's talking this way.
I think after this video, we have to assume that Brett Keane is deist now, but we'll get there. We're at 8:45 starting now.
You're offended by the word fuck and shit, but you don't mind in the Bible where God actually forces people to cannibalize each other. There's over 60 verses in the Bible where there's cannibalism. In the book of Jeremiah, it actually says that God made man eat the flesh of his own family members and friends. See, I believe that there's an intelligence in the universe, ladies and gentlemen. I believe that something started this, and I believe that there's a sentience behind it. But I'm not exactly sure that the Bible tells the whole truth about it or gives us all the facts or information. In fact, the Bible...
No, but I just paused there. So I think we just got to it, right? That's a deist position.
So, what particular position were you talking about? Because I'm not sure how far you went.
I went to 924. So he pretty much said that he believes in a God of the universe, but he isn't sure if the Bible is an accurate depiction of that God. I would believe that that's a deist perspective.
I thought that deism was like the God, a God created everything, but then stopped interacting with anything.
That's possible. Maybe I just have a fucked up version. Maybe I have a wrong definition of deism in my head right now. I'm probably wrong here.
I'm sure that the chat will pipe in and correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I remember a deist position being, was like just this idea that God created the universe and then just fucked off, basically.
All right. So what would be like, that there's an omnipotent God maybe, but like a creator of the universe, but he's just not the douchebag that Christians think he is. What would that be?
I mean, that would just be a religious position that is not Christianity. It would have to depend on what God you think it is.
Yeah, and I don't think we get that here. But I mean, it's just like this is the questions that I have, and again, I like the video. I told Brett I liked it. I'm not trying to talk smack. I just have questions, honest, legitimate questions. He was supposed to come here and ask me questions tonight. I'm asking him questions instead.
All right, so let's go ahead and start the video again. We're almost at the end. We actually made it.
Yeah, we are almost there. Like maybe.
And despite your best efforts, we went 2 hours.
I know.
You can't hang out with me without going for 2 hours now.
Fucking G-Man came on. That was gonna happen, right?
Yeah, we had no fucking clue. Like, guys, we're both serious. Like, he just showed up on his own.
Like, I questioned it. I'm like, is that the real G-Man?
I checked his channel. Clearly it was.
Yep, turned out to be. All right, so here we go. 9:24, Allie.
The Bible concedes and admits there are things about God we simply don't know because our mind is not like the mind of God. So I don't know what to think anymore, ladies and gentlemen. I know that my faith is hanging by a fucking thread, though. And the reason why is because I look at the human race, I look at this world, and I see a lot of disgusting sickness in it. And I have to give credit to God for creating it. God is the source of life, so all these fucking pricks and assholes I deal with, whether they're atheist or religious or whatever, it means they were all created and designed by a entity that knew these people were going to end up pricks and that most of them would be set on fucking fire. Unless, of course, a week before they die, they ask for forgiveness sincerely, and then I get to spend the rest of eternity with these cocksuckers. That doesn't seem like justice to me. That doesn't seem fair.
All right, so I paused it right there. I mean, Brett, that's your problem, yo. You just said cocksuckers. Christians aren't gonna like that shit. I mean, I don't even say cocksuckers, right? Like, fuck, Brett.
Yeah, like, that's interesting that he decided to use that language. Like, I was not expecting that from a Christian apologist from what you've told me.
I mean, he literally just called Christians cocksuckers.
Yeah. I mean, again, like, kudos to him for at least, again, if this isn't a big troll, right? Because, you have no idea whether it is or not. We don't know. As I said to G-Man earlier, we have no way to know what somebody's true thoughts are. We can only observe their behavior and form some opinion based off of patterns of behavior that they exhibit and patterns of behavior that other people in our lives have exhibited and our understanding of the results that comes from those things, right? Like, you can never truly know the mind of another.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like, Brett, like, if you're mad that some Christians don't like you much, it's probably because of that. Yeah, Mr. Pluto the dog, you just said cocksuckers knock. I know, like, well, I can't get demonetized anymore, so...
I mean, like, that's part of the reason why I've been swearing so much, guys. Like, I don't fucking care no more because fucking YouTube decided to fucking take away all of our fucking money. So I'm gonna fucking swear. Anyway.
Yeah, like, YouTube is like, here, let's punish these guys. And we're like, fuck you, YouTube. You didn't punish us. You opened us up.
Yeah, all you did was make it so we can swear and make it so that we have to push harder for Patreon donations.
Which I'm very bad at. I'm so bad at it. In fact, I will be announcing at the end of this stream some changes because I've got to focus on some things. But Allie is going to be coming into Patreon. We're going to really be looking at Patreon. We're going to really make it a good place for you guys to be.
Yeah, we're still doing that Patreon rollout, guys. As soon as we launch Film Crusade, there's going to be like the top 2 tiers of patrons, the $10 and $20 tiers. those are going to be getting extra rewards related to Film Crusade. Everybody that was a patron on January 1st, who is still a patron when we send out the t-shirts, is going to be getting signed t-shirts from all of us.
Yes, it might be pushed back a little bit due to recent life events. I
might actually put the money down if you can get me the design. Like, I'm happy to do that because I have it right now. And because I'm going to be launching my book pretty soon, and that means I'm going to be getting more.
I don't think you understand quite how much money we're talking about. But it will be coming, guys. I'll be talking about that at the end of the stream. Let's get through the video, and we'll get to that part.
All right.
And that doesn't seem like something I would feel an intelligent designer would do. How is that considered intelligently designed when fucking 90% of the human race is a toilet? I would be absolutely surprised if G-Man and Matt Powell or any of the Christians out there took the time to even answer the questions of this video. If you ignore...
Well, all right, so I paused it right there just to say that although G-Man didn't have much charge on his battery and it ended up being a discussion of free will, G-Man, quite on his own, did come here to answer some of these questions at least. So I just want to put that out there.
Well, and I did look up a definition for deism, and I was right. Belief in the existence of a supreme being, specifically a creator that does not intervene in the universe. So basically created the universe and then fucked off.
Yeah, so I just had a wrong definition of deism. My fault, guys. It's been a long day. I'm not too familiar with deists. I thought that his stance sounded like deism, but I was wrong, so I admit that. Thank you, Ali, my shoulder angel, for making me right. Or getting me into the right position, I should say. All right, not making me right. All right, so let's continue. We got just a little bit more.
For me, it's just going to make me realize that you're all fake and you're all bullshit. If you refuse to answer my valid questions, and I know that I'm on the wrong path, I'm dealing with the wrong people. If you do answer me and you try the best you can, who knows what route that may do in my mind and in my heart. But I've had it. I'm sick and I'm disgusted. My soul feels like cancer. But none of you fucking care. Why did I even bother telling you? Answer my questions.
Okay then.
And that's where it ends. So, let me get rid of that. And it'll just be us. Display capture. Let's get rid of that. So we'll move you over there. We'll blow my big ass up. We'll blow you up a little bit. Not as big as me. All right. So again, I like this video.
On camera then, huh?
I like the video. I really do. I think that they're good questions. I think that Brett actually takes a really good stance here. The question is it genuine? We've seen people in the chat having a really good time. If it is genuine, then Brett, welcome. But I just have to wonder is if, like, within a month's time, will he reverse position here, or even before that?
I'm not exactly sure. Oh, it looks like Korag made an oops. Korag accidentally timed somebody out in the chat.
Sorry, Mr. Pluto the dog. That was an accident. Thank you, Korag, for coming right out and saying that. Sorry, Mr. Pluto the dog. Didn't mean to happen.
Yeah, it looks like Korag done screwed up. But yeah, like, that sounds like some heavy stuff if he's not trolling, which again, he hangs out with Will Kincaide, and Will Kincaide is the king troll, so.
Yeah, and we all like Will, or we interact with Will. But
I mean, you could call that Will by association, but you compare Will to him more often than not, so I'm assuming that's one of the qualities.
I mean, I literally made, 2 or 3 videos calling Will the baby manatee, and there was a moment when I thought Will was getting away from Brett, but now Will is securely fastened to Brett's side again, which is Will Kincaide's decision to make. They have history, whatever. And this stream isn't like a bash Brett Keane stream. It really isn't. I was going to when he canceled, because I understood why he canceled. Now, if he really had family issues, I apologize for that. But my gut is telling me, I didn't show up for a stream when I was working, so he was like, fuck Nakasuchi. Let's cancel at the last fucking moment.
Well, you know what? We still got some pretty damn good content out of it because G-Man showed up because he must have heard through the grapevine that we were responding to this video. And yeah, we had a good, interesting conversation with him. I'm gonna put my feelers out into the community.
To defend Brett. That's what I got. Like G-Man initially came in to defend Brett, has not seen that video, and just the little bit we played, I think G-Man got mad at Brett Keane. I'm gonna be honest.
I'm not going to project to know what anybody else thinks or feels, but I do know that he seems to be interested in what I think, which is interesting. I'm going to be putting my feelers out into the community and get some advice for dealing with the debate because, well, that's one of the things you do, right, when you prepare.
Oh, yeah. Prep for that shit and destroy them. I can't wait to be in the live chat for that one. I'm definitely reaching out to James tomorrow. I have, literally canceled on James 4 times in a row, so it'll be nice to throw him a debate. Because I really like James. He's one of my favorite people.
So, as far as the ending of this video, if it's not a troll, if we're going to take him completely at face value, then yeah, it sounds like he's dealing with some heavy shit in his head right now, and he wants answers to some of these questions that he used to brush off from what you've said. I don't know enough about his history, but from what you're describing versus what I'm hearing, if this is an honest attempt, then that's what it looks like. And that's an interesting
and if it is, I want
to
welcome him. I'd please, dude, if it's honest, I fully welcome you, Brett. But I have questions, and maybe the next time that because Will said we'll reschedule, maybe I can't just guarantee a positive friend stream. Maybe we need to answer some serious questions.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we can find out what his actual position is in this, in that stream and that kind of thing, kind of dig into that a little bit. As far as from a pagan perspective, I can answer all of those questions with, I don't believe our gods are omnibenevolent. I think that they help people when they feel like it. And I can't deign to tell you how they decide to help some people and not others, but I do know that they are more likely to help their worshipers because whatever it is that we do connects us closer to them. And they do appear to be interested in some people over others for reasons that we can't really understand. But then again, our gods also, ours, meaning Hellenist, also generally don't seem to be equally interested in all cultures or all people anyhow. They don't have that obsessive need to be worshipped by all people that, the Christian God does, for example. There aren't commandments from many pagan gods that all beings must worship them or the world will end.
And before we close this out, and I talk about the changes in my life that have been pretty much forced upon me. I do want to address, because G-Man said that atheism is basically an irrational position. I disagree highly. As I said, that I'm not even philosophically, I'm more of an agnostic because I grant the possibility of a God figure. I think that evolution and the Big Bang describe things more precisely and have evidence behind them. But my atheism is just a answer to a question. That's all it is. It's not a worldview. It's not what I base my life upon. It is what I base this channel upon. But it's not what I base my life upon. My worldview is secular humanism, as I explained to G-Man. And he needs to realize that atheism is not a worldview. Christianity is, because it requires things of you. But atheism doesn't. It's just an answer to a question. So any last words, Ali, before I get into my final spiel about how my life is totally fucked?
Just saying, kind of as an addendum to that, not all worldviews require gods as an answer to morality, and not all gods, and not all personal answers to the question of what is moral are entirely derived simply from personal experience. You can, adhere to an entire philosophical system of which there are numerous writings in much the same way that you would say the Bible as a Christian, and still accept the truth of it from a logical perspective. As a Stoic, yes, there is some deity grounding in my morality, but the Stoic perception of the gods is a more deistic one. So we don't necessarily believe that morality is entirely derived from the gods themselves. Some Hellenists do, but I don't think that the gods are required for morality.
Awesome. All right, so final words on the stream tonight is that my life will be changing. I'm hoping it won't affect the channel too much, but my brand new car broke down, and we were hoping it would be a small issue. It was not. It was a big issue. I am literally being forced. That combined with my roommate moving out, that I have to get a new job, and I need to find a first shift job. I need to find a higher paying job, and it's going to require a lot more hours than I've been working for about the last year. So I'm not sure what changes are coming to the channel time wise, but I know that change is coming for me personally. And if I don't do it, I'm pretty much fucking up my life. So, yeah, if you don't see new edited content, it's because I'm switching jobs. Things will even out. We'll try to make up for it with streams. Ali has said that she will try to carry some of the load. But I've had a rough week personally. I don't like to talk about my personal problems. When I do make that mistake, I usually delete those streams. But your boy's struggling, and the only thing you do when you struggle is make change. So if it affects the channel, I'll address it more. Hopefully it doesn't. As I said, I have some videos that I can put out. Hopefully this won't be a long process.
Well, and we've been talking about me launching the Pissed Off Polytheist, and we were also discussing as I get better at editing response content that you might film stuff and send it to me. So there is a chance that you guys might still get some content. I'm going to be helping pick up some of that load.
Well,
We're hoping
they'll
that
definitely
when John
get
comes
content.
back, he will.
I'll make sure they get content, but it's just shit is fucked up, and I'm going to make the changes I need to make. So I want to put that out there. I'm not a person that sits here and waits for it to get better. I make it better. That's what I'm going to be doing for the next week or so. So if you don't see a lot of shit on Patreon or edited videos, we will make up for it in live streams. And once I get on the new schedule, we will adapt. But any last words here, Ellie, and then we're getting the fuck out of here.
I mean, that's the end of the points that I made about the other video. I'm almost done with the Sumerian epic fail video for Sticks and Stonehenge. So if you guys were looking forward to seeing us go at freaking what the hell are they called? My brain is spirit science. If you guys were looking forward to seeing Callan and I play off each other and go at spirit science, that's going to be up probably sometime within the next week or two. I could not have foreseen my injury, and unfortunately it slowed down my editing process a lot because I'm learning how to do all this stuff for the first time, and there's some pretty cool effects in that video that I got to play around with on my programs. So I'm going to be taking a lot of that knowledge, and you guys are going to have a great time with Film Crusade. That's going to be a lot easier because I actually have footage to work with. I don't have to create all of the effects and text and stuff myself. We actually have us on camera that we did together to tape for that, so I can use some of the footage there and then play around with effects and things for the next episode. So both of those are going to be coming out sometime fairly soon. Sumerian Epic Fail is coming out on Sticks and Stonehenge. I might ask Nock if he wants me to mirror it over here and see if Callan's okay with that. But if you guys want to see the whole series, ultimately it's going to all be on SNS. We're going to be doing a whole thing against their Sumerian Epic, and we're also working on doing a whole thing against their nutrition advice because I have some problems with it and with some of the statements they make. There's literally going to be merch from Sticks and Stonehenge of me yelling my face off that iron is not a macronutrient, and I'm probably going to hire Gaelic Knox to draw it. So yeah, that's going on. And again, the first episode of Film Crusade is called Why Does Film Criticism Matter? It's us taking a look at the reason why we created the series and also getting a deep dive into the basic script structures so that everybody has a vocabulary going forward when we create our first Was Han Solo an Atheist video.
All right, and I have not updated my Patreon slide yet. New patrons.
God damn it, Nock.
I know, I am so sorry, but my life has literally went to hell. So I'm not trying to let it affect me here, and I'm not trying to talk about it here, but my life went to hell. So new patrons, I apologize. I'm going to try to fix that tomorrow, but I haven't fixed it tonight. So as always, you guys have a wonderful night. Be the conversation. We're going to see you soon. and my music isn't working. What the fuck?
Good job, Knock. You broke it again.
Yeah, nothing changed.
I
but the
keep
music
telling
isn't
you, you
working.
have to give the tech gremlins their fucking blood. Like, you keep not doing it, and you keep paying the price. Like, how many times is something gonna have to fuck up on your computer for you to start giving the goddamn gremlins their fucking blood?
I did absolutely nothing for the music to be off right now.
Yeah,
This is
that's
some
the
bullshit.
goddamn tech gremlins, Knock. Like, you just need to accept like, you can be agnostic on deities, but I think we're both pretty clear that the tech gremlins, there's ample evidence in your personal life that they may exist.
And yes, you are back, Mr. Pluto the dog. Sorry about that. That was a complete accident. Sorry. Korag apologized. So yeah, you guys hear us. No music. We're going to get the fuck out of here. Ending the stream now. You guys have a beautiful night. Thank you for joining us, and we will